What if I told you that a pothole on a village road can slow down India's GDP? Sounds dramatic, but think about it. A farmer grows tomatoes, the crop is ready, but the road connecting his village to the nearest market is broken. The truck arrives late, half the tomatoes rot, prices crash, income falls. Now multiply that by millions of farmers, factories, workers, businesses. That is how infrastructure shapes an economy. And this is exactly why physical infrastructure is called the backbone of economic growth. Because no economy can grow at high speed on broken roads, weak electricity, poor transport, and slow communication systems. India's growth story is not just about startups, IT companies, or stock markets. It is also about highways, railways, ports, electricity lines, internet cables, water systems. These are the invisible machines running the visible economy. Now, here is the real question: why do developed countries grow faster and attract more industries? Simple. Because infrastructure reduces time, cost, and uncertainty. And in economics, reducing these three things is like giving steroids to productivity. Take transportation infrastructure. Roads, railways, ports, airports, they connect producers to market. Imagine a factory manufacturing mobile phones in Tamil Nadu. If roads are smooth, ports are efficient, and railways are fast, goods move quickly across India and even globally. Transportation costs fall, profits increase, consumers get cheaper products. This is exactly why projects like the Golden Quadrilateral became game changers. By connecting Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, and Kolkata, India reduced travel time massively. And whenever travel time falls, economic activity rises because speed is money. The same logic applies to railways. India's dedicated freight corridors are designed to separate cargo trains from passenger traffic. Now think about how important that is. Industries don't just need production, they need timely delivery. A delayed raw material shipment can shut down an entire factory line. Efficient freight movement means industries become more competitive, and competitiveness creates growth, exports, and jobs. Now let's talk about electricity. No country becomes an economic power in darkness. Factories need power, offices need power, hospitals need power. Even your phone needs power to order food online. Reliable energy infrastructure directly increases productivity, and India understood this. That's why the country expanded power generation and aggressively invested in the renewable energy like solar and wind. And here is the fascinating part: renewable energy is not just about climate change, it is also about economic strategy. Why? Because solar parks create jobs, wind energy attracts investment, green energy reduces import dependence on fossil fuels. So, energy security becomes economic security. Now comes a sector we often ignore: water and sanitation infrastructure. Think carefully. Can a sick population create a productive economy? No, poor sanitation spreads disease. Disease reduces workforce productivity. Low productivity means weakening growth. That's why clean drinking water and sanitation are economic investments, not just welfare measures. Similarly, irrigation infrastructure is critical for agriculture. In India, millions still depend on farming. If irrigation improves, crop yields improve, rural incomes rise, demand rises in the economy. And when rural demand rises, industries also grow. This is called the multiplier effect. One infrastructure investment creates waves across sectors. Now let's move to modern infrastructure, that is the communication networks. Today, internet connectivity is as important as highways. A student in a remote village can now attend online classes. A small shopkeeper can sell products online. A worker can transfer money digitally within seconds. This is economic empowerment through digital infrastructure. India's Digital India mission changed the game by expanding internet access and digital services. And mobile data revolutionized financial inclusion. Earlier, many people were outside the banking system. Now, even street vendors use QR codes. That means more formalization, transparency, and economic participation. But here is the reality check: India still faces major infrastructure challenges. Projects get delayed, land acquisition becomes controversial, urban infrastructure is overloaded, rural areas still lag behind, and poor maintenance is another silent problem. Building infrastructure is difficult, maintaining it consistently is even harder. So, what is the way forward? India needs massive investment, better planning, public private partnerships, technology driven infrastructure management. Most importantly, infrastructure growth must be inclusive. Because if only cities develop while villages remain disconnected, growth becomes unequal and unstable. And remember this, infrastructure does not merely support economic growth. It creates the foundation upon which growth becomes possible. That is the core idea. In the end, physical infrastructure is not just concrete, steel, and electricity poles. It is opportunity in physical form. A road means access, a railway means mobility, electricity means productivity, internet means empowerment. And when these systems work together, they transform a developing country into an economic powerhouse. That is the real story of India's growth.